Well, my name's Terry Clark, and I'm the supervisor for Downtown Proud, and I have 5 crew members that clean up a section of the downtown area, from 97th Street to 109th Street, from 104th Ave to 100th Ave. What this does is gives a way to give back. They're proud to be picking up the garbage, so to speak, because they get a lot of good compliments. You know, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. You're really making a difference. And I get the feedback every day.
I like it. It's actually a good program, I think. Everybody's telling me the downtown's looking better, it's cleaner. I got a job. People approach me all the time, say thank you, and that makes you feel good.
Just to have them feel that they're worth something, just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're a bad person. One of the neat things in the winter time is they decide how cold it is before they don't go out. And the norm is probably minus 25. They've gone out minus 30. Minus 30 is their draw. It's a group decision, and their say is very, very important, and it gives them a sense of meaningness because of their background. A lot of them have been homeless, and to give them a decision, it's really cool, and it gives them a sense of belonging, a sense of meaningfulness. A lot of them want to get out of the system, and once we go full time, they'll be able to make enough money on their own, not to rely on anybody else, the system, so to speak, and that's really important to them.
We work very closely with Dave, and it's been a great relationship because he houses a number of the people that come to Boyle Street that would otherwise find it difficult to find housing. So when we have clients that are especially challenged, whether they're multiple barriers, mental health or addictions, or just been sleeping rough for many years, Dave is often our provider of last resort. And he often takes on people, I think, that no one else would really consider. And so he's a great resource, and Martyshuk Housing is a great resource for us. We think there's a market there. There's certainly a lot of folks at Boyle Street that could use the work. Some people that were living in Martyshuk Housing as well that could use employment too. So we thought this could be a nice fit.
I was homeless for 4 years. Me and my boyfriend, we lived outside, and we lived in the garage for a year, in the winter time, and we had a heater that kept us warm in the garage, but we rented it. Can you believe it? I paid almost $350 for this garage.
How?
I pay only $525. I live here.
Oh, you live with Martyshuk?
Yeah, I live with Martyshuk, yeah.
How do you like it?
I love it. I'm grateful for these places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only way that I got this place was I worked for Dave. Like, I actually cleaned this suite.
Oh,
Can you
really?
believe it? I said, God, that place is gorgeous. And then Dave says to me, I got a place for you, Cheryl. I said, okay. What suite? 3rd floor. Oh, my eyes just lit up. 301. Thank God, this is the place I got.
And what about the building itself? Like, are the other tenants
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty alright. Like, everybody actually stays to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And what about Dave and the team? They're pretty.
Just kidding. No, the guys are great. Dave
Yeah.
is great. Waverly, she's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're all pretty cool people.
My mother is a social worker in the inner city, and she found a lot of her clients weren't getting help. So in 2008, October 2008, she created Missing Links Home Services.
Okay.
And we initially started doing the cleanup for most of the homeless people, and then we got our first home care client in January, actually from Martyshuk Housing. He was a drinker. No other agency would deal with him, and that's where Dave has hired us in to come and help some of the guys that haven't been recognized yet by home care, because they've just gotten into a home, so home care is not even sure that these people exist.
When you go and rent in a regular place, it's hard because you get evicted because of the way you are. You know, they find out you've been in a hospital. You know, they're kind of leery about you renting. You know, but Martyshuk Housing, I'm glad I found him. He's been very good to me, and in the spring he's going to. I'm getting him to open up a home, especially for home care people.
When I look at some of the people who were long-term street people who have now been in housing for 4 years with Martyshuk, and nobody else could house them or would house them, would take them. They didn't fit any of the current programs. That's incredible. What Martyshuk has done is committed themselves to making it work for those people. So sometimes 3 and 4 moves before they found the situation that would work. Martyshuk has offered people housing primarily away from the downtown core in a neighborhood that is safer than the downtown core, is away from many of the triggers of the downtown core, and has had some degree of support. You know, and as that model has developed, the need for more support has become apparent, especially as Martyshuk has housed some of the most difficult people to house.
Thanks, honey. There you go. Thanks, darling. When I needed the help for housing, he was there. Somebody that's been homeless 10 years can be housed in 2 hours. And that, to me, drew me into his company, and just grateful he's there. And grateful he started it. Like I say, had it not been for Martyshuk Housing, I don't know where I'd be today, and that terrifies me. So connecting with Martyshuk Housing, I feel has bettered my life for even me and my daughters. Prior to moving into Martyshuk Housing, I didn't have a settled place, so I couldn't really have the place to bring my daughters. Coming into Martyshuk Housing, now I had a home, and that's another thing that is really big with the tenants. It's a home they're coming into, and we do our best to be able to make it as clean, as comfortable as we can to make them happy, to keep them happy.
He helps out people where they have no place to go, and they're not even dependent. You know, they can't. They're street people. They're mentally handicapped people that don't fit in anywhere. You know, so Martyshuk Housing helps them. You know, get on their feet, get a job. You know, have a little self-esteem. When I first moved in here, there's needles in the halls. You know, red alert gangs. It was bad here. People were sleeping in the halls. You know, pissing and defecating in the elevator. It was bad. And since he took over, no police here. Like, I'd walk out, there'd be police in the hall. There's like 3,000 calls last year, and I guess there was only like 80 or 90 calls since he took over, to the EPS. So.
One of my first nights was very scary, actually, and there was 4 police or 6 police in here, and I still heard a woman in distress, and there was a security outfit here, but I can't remember what name it was, but the guy was like, I think he was just too scared to step out of the office.
Martyshuk took over the building in like 2011. So have you seen changes to the building?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time, yeah.
So lots of changes. What kinds of changes?
Well, there's a lot more surveillance cameras up. They give tenants rules so they become more accountable to who they're letting in and what is the business going on here. So, yeah, it definitely feels a lot more safer. And it's not like they're always glued to the screen, but if, like, for instance, something goes missing, like all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, someone came in and stole something, they can backtrack on their cameras, and which is another good thing. So I feel a lot more secure because, well, any movement gets recorded. So if someone's stealing something from out of your apartment, it'll be caught on camera.
Having Dave in the city helping all the homelessness is by far, in my opinion, the greatest thing at all.
You watch the change that happens to people when that's happened. They look different, they begin to act different, they feel differently about themselves, they begin to think differently, they begin to have some hope that there can be a different life for them.
He helps our people where, most people, their own family won't even help them out, they're just, they're mentally handicapped or just undesirables to some people, but they're in need of health care, And Dave takes a lot of people in and helps them out,
He's a man of heart. He houses almost anybody. He'll house anybody. Gives them a home.